Think about the last time you were attracted to someone. Maybe it was a voice, a way of moving, a sense of humor that arrived unexpectedly and stayed too long. You probably explained it the way most people do: chemistry, connection, a feeling you couldn't quite name. But the real answer is far stranger. What you felt in that moment was not random. It was the output of a selection system 300,000 years in the making, running calculations your conscious mind never gets to see. Your ancestors didn't swipe right, but they were choosing, and what they were choosing for shaped everything about you. To understand what ancient humans actually looked for in a partner, you have to understand what mating was solving for. It wasn't happiness. It wasn't romance. It was survival and reproduction in an environment that was trying constantly to kill everyone in it. Evolutionary psychologist David Buss at the University of Texas at Austin has conducted what is arguably the most comprehensive cross-cultural study of human mate preferences ever assembled. His research, spanning 37 cultures across 6 continents, found consistent patterns in what humans look for that transcend language, religion, geography, and era. Across virtually every culture studied, both men and women prioritized kindness and intelligence above almost everything else. Not appearance, not resources, kindness and intelligence first and everywhere. This finding surprises most people who assume evolutionary psychology is about shallow physical signals. And physical signals matter, but they matter within a context. The context your ancestors were living in was one where a cruel partner could get you killed and a stupid partner could get your children killed. Kindness and intelligence weren't romantic virtues, they were survival assessments. But the preferences diverge from there, and the divergence tells you something important about the different evolutionary problems men and women faced. Across cultures and across time, women have shown stronger preferences for partners who demonstrate resource acquisition and social status. This is not because women are materialistic in the modern sense. It is because in an ancestral environment where pregnancy and nursing created extended periods of physical vulnerability, a partner's ability and willingness to provide and protect was not a luxury. It was a biological necessity. Researcher Helen Fisher at Rutgers University has spent decades studying pair bonding across species and human cultures, and her work reinforces that female preference for resource signals is one of the most robust and ancient patterns in human mating behavior. It appears in virtually every documented human society, and in the mate preference literature going back as far as researchers have looked. Men across cultures have shown stronger preferences for signals associated with fertility and youth, physical symmetry, clear skin, features associated with health and reproductive capacity. Again, this is not vanity in any modern sense. In an environment where infant and child mortality was extraordinarily high, and where a woman's fertile years were genuinely limited, choosing a partner showing strong health signals was not superficiality. It was a reproductive strategy that worked. But here is where the story becomes genuinely interesting. Because physical appearance in the ancestral environment was not primarily about beauty in any aesthetic sense. It was information, health information, genetic quality information, parasite resistance information. Psychologist Stephen Gangestad at the University of New Mexico has spent years studying facial and bodily symmetry and its relationship to mate choice. His research found that bilateral symmetry, the degree to which the left and right sides of the body match, is a reliable indicator of developmental stability, the ability to grow normally despite genetic stressors and environmental challenges. Humans are unconsciously sensitive to these tiny symmetry differences in potential partners, and research consistently finds that more symmetrical individuals are rated as more attractive across cultures. Your ancestors weren't choosing symmetry consciously. They were reading a genetic health report written in flesh. Smell was another ancient assessment system operating well below conscious awareness. Immunologist Claus Wedekind at the University of Lausanne conducted what is now one of the most famous experiments in mate choice research, the sweaty t-shirt study. Women were asked to smell t-shirts worn by men they had never seen and rate the attractiveness of the smell. The striking finding was that women consistently rated as most attractive the smell of men whose immune system genes, specifically the major histocompatibility complex, were most different from their own. A complementary immune system in a partner means children with broader immune coverage. Your nose, in other words, has been running immune system compatibility checks on potential partners for hundreds of thousands of years, without telling your conscious mind a thing about it. Beyond physical signals, personality and behavior were equally powerful selection pressures in the ancestral environment. Humor is a striking example. Across cultures, both men and women list a good sense of humor among their top mate preferences. But research by evolutionary psychologist Geoffrey Miller at the University of New Mexico has found an asymmetry. Women rate humor production, actually being funny, as significantly more attractive in a partner than men do. Miller has argued that humor is a reliable signal of cognitive complexity, creative intelligence, and social fluency. Making someone genuinely laugh requires reading them accurately, subverting their expectations cleverly, and doing it fast. In the ancestral environment, that combination of abilities was highly predictive of someone who could navigate complex social landscapes and generate novel solutions to survival problems. Courage and status within the group were also ancient and consistent attractors. Anthropological research on traditional societies consistently finds that men who are brave, skilled hunters, effective negotiators, and respected within their community have significantly more mating opportunities than men who are not, regardless of their physical appearance. In the ancestral world, status wasn't just about ego. It was about access to resources, protection, and alliance networks that extended to partners and children. A high-status partner brought an entire social network with them. And generosity? Across cultures and across evolutionary psychology research, generosity is one of the most powerful and consistent signals of long-term mate quality. Not generosity toward everyone, specifically generosity toward the potential partner and toward shared offspring. Researcher Sarah Brosnan at Georgia State University has studied resource-sharing behavior in primates and humans, finding that willingness to share, particularly in contexts where sharing is costly, is one of the clearest behavioral signals of cooperative intent. In an ancestral world where childrearing required years of sustained investment from both parents, and often from extended kin networks, a partner who was genuinely generous with their resources was not a nice bonus. They were a prerequisite. What does all of this mean for who you are attracted to today? It means the feelings you experience as chemistry, as magnetism, as inexplicable rightness with one person and not another, are not random. They are ancient assessments running through your nervous system in real time, translating centuries of selection pressure into the sensation we call attraction. It also means that what humans were choosing for at the deepest evolutionary level was not perfection, it was fit. A partner who complemented their immune system, who demonstrated the willingness to invest, who could navigate the social world skillfully, who was kind enough not to be a threat and smart enough to be an asset. Your ancestors didn't have dating profiles. They had faces, voices, smells, actions, and reputations. And from those signals they made choices that eventually produced you. Every single human being alive today is the descendant of an unbroken line of ancestors who were chosen, and who chose successfully enough to pass something forward. That pull you feel towards certain people, it has been refined for 300,000 years. It knows things your conscious mind will never fully understand.